The Caribbean has been highlighted for possible tropical development because of this wave rolling off of Africa. What's going on, guys? Certified meteorologist Jonathan Keg is back with you. I'm also tracking a severe weather threat for the upcoming weekend for parts of the nation's heartland. We'll get into that towards the end of the video. I would love to know your thoughts. What do you think is going to unfold? We could literally have no development with this thing or be talking about something much more significant in the Caribbean in the next 10 plus days. So there was a long time to watch. Remember, don't fall for all of the hype. Friends don't let friends look at the 384-hour GFS. It's whack, okay? Anyway, there is the highlighted area there brought on by the Climate Prediction Center. Now, the Hurricane Center doesn't have anything highlighted because it's outside of that 7-day development period. But you see that red shaded area. There's United States, there's Central America, and that means there's a greater than 40% shot that we could have tropical development in the Caribbean again because of that wave there. So the entire Caribbean highlighted because it is moving off the coast of Africa and then working its way further to the west. I want to show you this. This is going to be kind of the ensembles all grouped up. I'll show you the individual members in just one second. But nonetheless, there's at least a hinting of something in the Caribbean in late October, the potential for tropical depression to form there. That is Friday, October 24th. The one thing I'll say here, and this is something that we're going to continue to watch. If you've been with me as you've been tracking this and some of the model guidance, first it was looking like, okay, maybe late teens, like the 18th or 19th. Then it was maybe the early 20s. Now we're talking about the mid 20s. Model guidance continues to shift it back and back and back. When that happens, that's kind of a red flag that this may be nothing because models don't know what's going on with it. So it's like, okay, maybe it's going to develop, maybe it's not. So just something to be aware of that there is also a shot that nothing comes out of this. I'm not saying that it will because I don't know that answer yet, but we're going to go over a bunch of things. One of the things that has done very well this year, the Google DeepMind AI model, and it has two separate camps. It has pretty much no development through the main development region, which I agree with. I don't think this thing develops, or at least it's very weak entering the Caribbean. But then you see those lines start to pop up right on into here. It feels a trough and then kind of goes up this way, or it stays weaker yet and then doesn't get anything. And then we start to see it lift up towards Western Cuba and then maybe the Eastern Gulf. You see there, though, there's not a ton of members. There's 50 members of the Google DeepMind AI ensemble. And there's not a ton of them online. But even with that said, so okay, just right there, it may not develop. It may get into the Caribbean as a weak system and lift north, or as a stronger system and lift north. It may stay weak and go west, or it might run into Venezuela and then not do anything. So again, watch the clickbaity stuff. Here is the euro. The euro has been aggressive. It keeps it going west. We're out all the way through October 24th. Some members have it going north towards Hispaniola. I'll show you why in just one second. There's the GFS. It's kind of crazy. It gets stuff to the Western Caribbean, then sharply goes northeast towards the Cayman Islands, towards Jamaica, towards Cuba, towards the Bahamas, maybe South Florida. Again, this is the ensembles, which is what you want to look at, not the individual model runs. So we're not looking at any individual model runs, but this is kind of the steering pattern here. This is what we're dealing with. This is going to be on the 24th. And the reason how we saw some going this way, some going up like that, it's because of this dip in the jet stream. So a stronger storm feels the upper levels a little bit more. The upper level steering influences a little bit more. So it kind of goes, the ones that are stronger earlier feel that tug and then work its way. A weaker storm is going to continue west. It's not going to feel the upper levels a little bit. Eventually, once it gets strong, then, okay, maybe we have that upper low heading this way, and then it's going to be like a dog on a leash. Here's the owner, here's the dog, and then it kind of takes it like that. So that is why we have the abrupt turns. I think the western, like this area, is pretty much closed for business, unless it would really slow down, and then we have this ridge build here and then force it. That's something we watch because again, we're very far away from the steering current. And if you're wondering about the wind shear, it's a pretty pristine environment. This is also through the 24th. There we go with high pressure, and this is 200 millibar level here. Um, Upper level anticyclone, upper level high pressure, all the wind shears up here. So it would have a decent environment plus very warm water temperatures. All of this to say is there's a lot of I don't know. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm not going to make a call 10 days out. And nobody knows. We have the ensembles to look at, but this thing is not developed and it's near Africa. So that's something that I want everybody to remember as well as we go forward, as we track this thing. It should stay weak before the Caribbean. It will likely start to gain strength if it hasn't run into South America, maybe south of Puerto Rico, south of Hispaniola. And then if it gets into the Western Caribbean, that's where we really have to watch. And then we have to determine where that steering piece is at the time that this thing starts to get going. So a lot to iron out. You saw that was the 24th. That's, again, 8 to 11 days away from that potential development area. So a lot to iron out. But I wanted to let you know what I'm looking at and what we kind of know now, that steering influence is coming into play. The storm could be here on this day. If the model keeps pushing it back as I ramble on, there is a shot that this might be a phantom storm, and time will tell. Severe weather risk from Shreveport to St. Louis on Saturday. We have a big dip in the jet stream working its way down the pipeline. I have the high resolution future radar that goes out to the first part of the day on Saturday. So this is a big cold front coming through. There is where we have some of the thunderstorms erupting early Saturday morning. So there's a line of thunderstorms already out there. Now, the interesting thing will be, okay, does this kind of dampen the atmosphere a little bit, especially where we see the rain early? But it certainly looks like they're right through Arkansas. This is 11 o'clock in the morning. There's some discrete cells through about Little Rock working through there. So that's something that we're going to continue to watch. We don't want to get them discrete at all because those have the potential to produce tornadoes if they are going to be on the discrete side. So that's something we're watching through the day on Saturday. It could get an early start. Now, kind of going out of order because of the more impactful stuff I wanted to touch on, but we always bring it back and talk about the driving weather forces of what's going on across the country. So this is now for tomorrow, Wednesday, October 14th, and we have high pressure kind of nudging back in, and that's allowing that warmth after it felt oh so crisp up in the upper Midwest. Now that's kind of nudging. You see that ridge of high pressure building there, and that is going to keep the warmth building up there. We also have that dip in the jet stream, like a ridiculous rare severe weather threat in parts of the desert Southwest and California because of that dip in the jet stream rolling on. That's also allowing for below normal temperatures through parts of the desert Southwest and the Pacific, into the Pacific as well. That's something that we are watching. Low temperatures when you start your day on Wednesday. We're talking temperatures into the upper 30s, a little bit warmer than where we were earlier this morning in parts of the Intermountain West and Northern Plains. We're talking 50s in Atlanta to start, 70s in Brownsville, Texas. Shout out there. High temperatures, still a little toasty in San Antonio. Detroit, we're feeling nice at 72. Orlando, it's a more comfortable 84. Still on the warmer side. Same for us in Jacksonville. Roanoke, we're gorgeous. 79 degrees. Spilled my coffee. If you wondered what that what that thud was, I need to start drinking more of that. Even at this hour, Bismarck, a chilly, a crisp 43 degrees. Alrighty, guys, I would love to know your thoughts on this wave. Choice A, it doesn't develop at all. That's my hope. Choice B, it develops and lifts into the Southwest Atlantic. Choice 3, it develops and gets into the Eastern Gulf. That's what I have. That's what we're watching, all because of that steering current and then the strength into the Caribbean. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. You're awesome. Thanks so much for the support. If you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing. We have the Weather Conversation. We're the only channel that does that, okay? We're the only channel that we're a team, all of us, 100,000 plus strong. We all talk about the weather. We don't just force feed it. We have the conversation. We talk about impacts. We talk about all that stuff. If you're into that stuff and just nerding out about the weather, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you on board and join the team. And we'll catch you next time.